Back in the early 90s, I was a teenager growing up in a small Swedish town. No internet, no YouTube, and really no idea on how to improve at my chosen instrument. One of the first real guitar books that I got had this finger exercise in it, and I've been doing some version of it pretty much every day ever since. Then just recently I came across this video by Andrew Tonelli called The Guitar Exercise That Changed My Life, and watching that video I realized I had almost the exact same experience as him. This exercise became a daily habit for me, and to this day it's still one of the most powerful things that I've ever practiced. But here's the thing, this isn't just a warm-up. Once you understand how to use it, this simple idea can be turned into a full system for building your technique. Alternate picking, sweep picking, hybrid picking, legato, you name it. In this video I'm going to show you what the exercise actually is, why it works so well, and how to apply it to any technique that you want to improve. So here's the core idea. You take 4 fingers and you start anywhere on the fretboard. I'm just going to show it here from the 5th fret. And you're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 finger per fret. Now, if you've opened pretty much any guitar book or watched a bunch of YouTube videos, you're bound to have seen this exercise, and it looks like this. Now, at first glance, this might look really basic, and it kind of is, but the power behind this whole exercise, or more of a system I would call it, is that instead of just playing 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to go through all the possible combinations using this fingering. And all the possible combinations without repeating any finger is going to be 24. So you can try this for yourself. And even if you don't have your instrument now, just try this. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next logical combination will be 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3. The next one, 1, 3, 2, 4, and so on. Why this is such a good exercise is that any combination you use, you're going to be using all 4 fingers of your fretting hand, which is really important, because if you only practice scales, you're bound to not get an even amount of work across the whole fretting hand, and it usually ends up quite unbalanced. Now, I know that these kind of combinations seem basic right now, but if you practice it in a way that I'm going to show you, you will get so much out of this. And I'm also going to show you later on in the video how to apply this to different techniques. But we'll start with just alternate picking. And obviously, these combinations are not musical, they don't sound good, and I know a lot of people don't like practicing things they can't use in their playing right away. So if you reframe it instead as a way to much faster gain control over your fingers, that will enable you to play whatever notes you want in whatever order, because you're going to develop that control between your brain and your fingers, because that's what we're working on. It's not really muscles, it's your ability to send the correct signal to the correct finger and do that in time. So just by incorporating some of these exercises into your daily practice routine, even for 10-15 minutes, most of us can handle listening to stuff like that for 15 minutes a day, because the benefits are quite staggering when you do it consistently. So the most basic version of this for alternate picking would be to stay on one string and then go through each of the different combinations in order. So if we choose the G string here, for example, 5th fret, we're going to have 5, 6, 7, 8. And then maybe you decide I want to play each combination for either 1 minute, and it's going to take you 24 minutes to go through the entire thing, or maybe you do 30 seconds, or maybe you just pick a number. Maybe you say like, all right, I'm going to do each combination 5 times. So you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I would change to the next combination, 1, 2, 4, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next one, 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so on. The next level after that would be to move them across all 6 strings or 7 strings, however many strings you have. If we take the 1, 3, 4, 2 combination, we'll go like this. So what I did here was I went up in this position, down in the next one, and then restart it here for the next combination. So that would be 1, 4, 2, 3, for example. And you get the idea. You can also use these on 2 strings at a time, or string skipping if you want. So if you want to do string skipping, maybe you go between the E and D string, and let's do 4, 1, 3, 2. And you can do that across all 6 strings like this as well. So you go E, D, A, G, D, B, G, E. And so on. The next step for alternate picking is that you can target specific picking mechanics you have trouble with. So one very common one is outside and inside picking. So how do we do that then? Well, one variation you can do is, again, I'm just going to stick here to the 5th fret to make it easy. If you go 1, 2, 3, 4, but we take the last note of each of these combinations and we put that on the next string. And the next string in this case is the A string. So our 1, 2, 3, 4 turns into instead, right? So what we get here is outside picking when we start with the downstroke. So we have down, up, we get this. You can just repeat that if you want and go through all 24 combinations. I'm just going to show you quickly what that will look like with the next combinations. You can see how this can be applied. So again, the rule here is we're going to do 3 notes on the low string and 1 note on the higher string. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to go 1, 2, 4, and then put this 1, 3 on the next string. So we get 1, 2, 4, 3. Same idea here. You can move that up and down the fretboard. So let's restart it on each string. Another variation that's really good is to do this one, then right away do the same combination but starting on the string where you're at. So we're basically going 1, 2, 4, 3, and then we do the A string, 1, 2, 4, 3. So now what happens is you get inside picking, because the pick is sort of trapped inside the strings. And a lot of people have issues specifically with that one. But whether you have an issue with outside picking or inside picking, doesn't really matter. When you practice things like this, they will stop becoming issues because you're putting in work in both camps, if that makes sense. So the combination exercise would look like this. 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3. And if you want to do this with string skipping, just skip a string. The beauty of this is that whatever you choose, you're always going to be working with all 4 fingers. So whatever technique you use as well, as you're going to see in a little while here in this video, even if you work on sweep picking, you're still going to be working with all 4 fingers equally. So that's a huge, huge thing for improving your technique quickly. I'm just going to show you one more variation you can use for alternate picking, and that's 2 notes per string picking. So one logical way to do this then would be to do 1, 2, 3, 4. But now we take the 2 last notes are going to be on a separate string. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So, and again, you can start by doing this. And if you do 5 reps of each combination, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we do 1, 2, 4, 3. You get the idea? And obviously I'm not moving this up and down the fretboard right now, but you want to do that as well. So if we take the 1, 2, 3, 4 one, we can first do the thing we did with the 3 notes outside inside picking example, where we restarted on the string next to where we started. So E, A, E. So I'm just doing 1, 2, 3, 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do 1, 2, 4, 3. Take a random one from the starting with the second finger. We're gonna get 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4. And a tip here is to think of the finger you're on or say it out loud, because it really helps your brain to connect everything. And also will help you to slow down, because as with anything else, if you sit there doing that, you're not building anything except really bad technique. But that's another thing that's really good about these, is that they sound really bad. And you might think, like, how is that a good thing? It's not a bug, it's a feature actually, because you won't find it more entertaining necessarily to try to play these faster, because they still will sound really crappy. So this will hopefully make you more inclined to stay at a tempo where your technique actually will have a chance to improve. So one more thing with the 2 note per string variation, one thing that I really like doing here is to just keep going across the strings. So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we started here on the E string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a very helpful variation as well, especially when you do it with all 24. So if it's not clear here, whatever thing you start doing, you want to finish that by going through all 24 finger combinations. Now this is also really effective for sweep picking. But before we do that, I'm gonna show you one final thing here for alternate picking. This is quite challenging. So we're gonna do 1 note per string instead. So we have, so basically we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4 and distribute that across 4 strings. So we're gonna go D string, A string, D string, G string. And then we're gonna reverse that, still getting 1, 2, 3, 4, but from the G string. So, and starting with a downstroke, just alternate pick. So be really mindful here that you don't get this. You need to lift the finger when you move to the next one. Now, when you apply 1, 2, 4, 3, sounds like this. And you saw here, I'm always keeping this shape, these 2 chords, right? And then I apply the combinations to that. So you can come up with different starting points as well and then apply the combinations. But the first one to start with would be to just do these consecutive strings basically. So 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3. And it becomes quite tricky because now we have the 1, 2 on the lowest set and then 4, 3 here. But then we turn it around, we have the 1, 2 here and 4, 3 here. And it becomes quite a brain teaser, or whatever you want to call it. It's very, very effective and also quite frustrating initially. So just stick with it and take it super slow. And you can move this across the strings as before. Just a side note here, I remember seeing this from John Petrucci's Rock Discipline, where he would play something like this. So you're basically doing the low E string, 2 middle strings, D and G, and then the high E string. So you get this string skipping pattern. Same idea though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when you apply the different patterns, it becomes quite tricky. So 1, 2, 4, 3. And as you can see, there's endless possibilities to apply this method. So that's why I've been doing it for pretty much the whole time I've been playing guitar. Now for sweep picking, we're gonna do exactly what we did for the previous alternate picking one, doing 1 note per string. So we're gonna go. But since we can't really skip strings with sweep picking, we need to change the shape up instead. So instead of keeping this the whole time, we have to change the order of the fingers when it comes to the strings. And just look at this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. If we do 1, 2, 4, 3, we're gonna go E, A, then D is gonna be the 4th finger. and then the third finger on the G string, and then when we go back, 1, 2, 4, 3, right? So it sounds like this. You can see that provides you with a different challenge as well, because your brain is going to be like, what the hell is going on? But that's a good thing. And like I said, you don't need to spend hours every day on this. Do it for as much as you can handle, and then I'm 100% sure that you're going to find that when you get back to your normal scale practice and learning licks and playing actual music, you can feel a difference if you keep this up and be consistent with it for a couple of weeks. And I'm 100% sure that you're going to see a difference. And also I think you're going to see that this is actually worth doing. Now that's the most obvious sweep picking application, and that one is really good. So if you only do that one, you're still going to get a lot out of this. If you're into economy picking as well, which is a subset of sweep picking, some people call it the same thing, but in this case, economy picking would be more of a scalar thing. That's how I think about it. It's just semantics. What it means is that whenever I go from a thicker string to a thinner string, I ideally want to be on a downstroke, and vice versa. So if we take the two finger combinations we did here, or 2 notes per string combinations, let's do this from the D string. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Just doing that can help your economy picking a lot. Basically, I'm going to go up, down, down, up. 1, 2, 4, 3, and so on. And you can also do the combination where you go 1, 2, 3, 4, restart on the same string, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see the idea here. Other thing you can try, and this is the last one for the sweep picking, I'm going to show you legato next. To get better at these triad arpeggios and also variations of that, because there's more to life than just triads, is to apply these combinations like this. So basically we're going to mimic, we have 2 notes on the high string and then 1 note, 1 note. And we can do the same thing here then. So let's start from the D string. If we do 1, 2, 3, 4, we want 2 notes on the D string, 1, 2, and then we have 1 note on the A string and 1 on the E string. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, and you go through all the same combinations. 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3. And you can also turn it around. So you go, keep the same number of notes per string, but 1, 2, 3, 4 then will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, 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 up. 1, 2, 4, 3. And these might feel really abstract and weird, but you're going to find when you get back to your normal sweep picking shapes, you've gained something. That's the only thing I can say. You just need to try this out for yourself to see what I'm talking about. For legato, basically the same thing as we did for alternate picking will work for legato. So that's what I would suggest you start with. So doing this, but do it with all hammers. That's a really, really good idea. And I'm not going to go into all the benefits of all hammers here, but basically you want to mute here, so you don't have to focus on muting when you do the exercise, because you really want to just focus on hammering on with the left hand and focusing on the timing. And you don't want to be annoyed by ringing strings or anything like that. The immense benefit, I would say, is that your timing in your left hand or fretting hand is going to be so much better when you do this. And it also has a built-in warning system or pass or fail system, because when you go from left to right, it's fine, but when you go from right to left, if your timing is off, you will find that if you're too early, you're not going to get a sound. If you're too late, you might get a weird sound here because of the muting, or if you didn't mute, you might get an open string. So the timing needs to be exact. And also make sure that you don't try to compensate here by pushing really hard. You just want to focus on the timing. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4 so much now, so I'm just going to try 4, 1, 2, 3, just so you can see what I'm talking about. So you can do this. And you can move that across the strings as well. and so on. You can apply all the other ones as well. So if you do outside, inside picking variation we had for alternate picking, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and also this one. Really good variation, especially when you go through all the combinations. So again, make sure you try whatever variation we're doing here with numbers of notes per string. Make sure you do this with all 24 finger combinations. And be prepared to be frustrated with some of them. That's exactly how it should be, because we're doing these to get better at controlling our fretting hand and combining it with the picking hand. And having some issues with some of these combinations are completely normal. So that's nothing to be scared of. Instead, be really happy, because then you know that in a few weeks' time you can see a clear difference doing these. And that's really cool, because sometimes guitar progress can feel very incremental to the point where we don't even notice it that much ourselves. But if you know for a fact that, oh, I had a real issue with 3, 4, 2, 1, you know, when I started doing this a couple of weeks ago, but now I can actually do it in a much better way. So you can see tangible improvement, and that's super exciting. So here's 2 more variations you can use. And we've seen this already with the picking one, so it's not going to be news to you, but they're a bit different when you do the legato. So if we do 2 notes per string, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or across the strings. So we can do 2 notes per string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or across the strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Right, so the last legato variation here, it's very similar to the alternate picking across strings. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Really try to think like a piano here in the fretting hand. If you hear this, no good. And 1, 2, 4, 3. And so on. I promised that this would work for any technique, and I've applied this to hybrid picking as well. One way to do it here is to pick any 4 strings, like this. So I'm going to do the E string, A string, D string, G string. And you can even set just muting the strings like this. You can hear something. So that will be our 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 4, 3. And so on. And this is much trickier than it might look. So if you haven't done a lot of hybrid picking before, this might be super tricky, but just start where you're at and maybe just do the 1, 2, 3, 4 and the 4, 3, 2, 1 initially, and then start adding in more of the trickier variations. This one has helped my hybrid picking a lot, and also incorporating the pinky is very important. So don't skip this exercise just because it's unmusical and it doesn't sound good. There's so many great players that have used this to develop their technique. Steve Vai is one of them. Alan Holsworth is another guy, and I mean, you can't really give a better example than that. If he thought this was a good thing to work on to get more control over his fingers so he could express himself more clearly, then I don't see a better example that I can give. So whether you like it or not, give it a try, and I think you will like the results enough to torture yourself for around 15 minutes a day with any of these variations, and you're gonna definitely see some big gains in your technique. Now, if you want my personal help, you can check out my guitar personal training program. You have a link down in the description, and I'm not gonna talk more about it here because you have all the info when you go there. The only thing I'll say is that spots are limited and the first week is free, so you don't really risk anything.